Raising children can be exhausting, frustrating, and nerve-wracking. Some people fold under the pressure and just toe the line. These dads, however, found some funny, unique, and powerful ways to show support for their daughters and sons. They all have their own unique way to parent, and at the end of the day, they showcase what it means to be a great parent. From artists and builders to bodybuilders and lawyers, these dads prove that anyone can be a great parent if they work hard at it and always remember to have a little bit of fun with their children. This dad sends his ex-wife flowers. Billy Flynn and his wife divorced, but that didn't stop this caring dad from continuing to send her flowers. Billy didn't want his children to be overly affected by the split, so he decided to send his ex-wife flowers. Flynn explained on Facebook why he bought his wife flowers after their divorce. "I'm raising two little men. The example I set for how I treat their mom is going to significantly shape how they see and treat women and affect their perception of relationships. This dad is definitely taking parenting seriously and doing it right." This Little Red Riding Dad. This dad asked his daughter what she wanted to be for Halloween. She decided to dress up as the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf isn't quite as scary without a victim to chase after. When his daughter said she wanted Little Red Riding Hood to be included with her costume, it was her dad who volunteered for the role. Judging by the little girl's face, she was incredibly happy with how her costume turned out with Dad. This is a great reminder that the best dads will go above and beyond to make their kids happy. Whatever his daughter wants, this dad is a viral sensation because of the numerous antics he performs with his adorable little girl. Often billed as the coolest dad ever, he is willing to have his toenails painted and chase his daughter around the house on a motorized ATV. The best dads, in our opinion, are the guys who are willing to have fun with their children and show them that sometimes you just need to let your hair down and act a little goofy. We don't know if Dad is losing this race on purpose, but he's definitely not losing when it comes to parenting. This dad who's teaching his daughter to drive before you absolutely lose your mind over this photo. It's fake. Stephen Crowley is an expert at photoshopping, and he took his skill to a whole new level with help from his baby girl. The project started as a way for Crowley to freak out his grandma. Using the skills he developed to make a living and included his daughter in his work seems like a great way to pass the time. It's another example of a dad having fun with his kid and proving that you don't always have to take parenting so seriously when a funny opportunity approaches. This dad who makes breakfast a ton of fun. This dad is an artist. His canvas: 2 slices of toast, butter, and a knife. Adam Perry wanted to find a way to make breakfast fun for his 2 daughters who both have severe food allergies. His 9-year-old daughter can only eat white bread with sunflower oil spread every morning for breakfast due to her allergies. Because of her diet, breakfast had become very boring. I started playing with the toast to get her excited about her breakfast again and to make both the girls laugh when they come down to eat, Perry explains. Amazing dads really will do anything for their kiddos. This dad turns his daughter's imagination. Omaha-based graphic designers Martin Bruckner loves his 5-year-old daughter, Harper Grace, and her imagination. Every time the little girl comes up with a silly, clever, or crazy idea, her dad illustrated her ideas. If she wants an owl in the sky in the rain, like the image above, he draws up her idea. From a cute Batman to a circus goat, he has drawn some pretty crazy thought experiments on behalf of his little girl's imagination. There are so many ideas that he named the project Spaghetti Toes, and their work has gone viral. This dad illustrates life with his kids. Iowa-based dad and artist Nathan Ripperger spends a lot of time parenting, so it makes sense that his artwork would reflect his time spent with his kids. Ripperger realized that he says a lot of strange things in response to his kids' actions. After a while, he started to write down the silly, weird, and crazy words that were coming out of his mouth because of the stuff his kids were doing. He started selling his prints on Etsy and it was enough to go viral. The best parents included their children in nearly every aspect of their life. This dad suffered through a girly concert for his daughter. This photo of a dad went viral because he really took one for the team. It's one of those moments that most dads dread. Your teenage daughter approaches you and says they want to go see the hottest new boy band in concert. Being the great dad, you decide to accompany your daughter to the concert. This dad ended up at a One Direction concert with his little girl. It's pretty obvious that he's having a hard time with all the screeching going on around him, even with earplugs in. However, he continues to stand by his daughter's side as she enjoys her favorite band with thousands of other screaming girls. Dad learns to do daughter's hair, then teaches other dads. Phil Morges was completely baffled by what it took to do his daughter's hair. He realized it was a problem faced by millions of dads. Instead of ignoring his daughter's hair, he decided to learn how to style it with various different techniques. Morges then decided to start a class where he instructed other dads in the sometimes confusing art of hairstyling. This awesome dad started with hair clips, then learned about gel, hairspray, and various other products he could use on his daughter's hair. Awesome job, Dad. Whatever it takes for the perfect photo. If you have ever marveled at adorable baby photos and wondered how photographers capture sleeping babies in all of their little kid bliss, here's your answer. Those photo shoots can be incredibly difficult to capture, and sometimes mom or dad need to be an integral yet hidden part of the photo shoot. This dad hid underneath the background so his little girl would feel comfortable and fall to sleep while laying on dad's stomach and chest. We don't know how long dad had to stay in that position, but it proves that good dads will do anything for their little bundle of joy. This dad made the best of an indoor situation. When it's cold and rainy outside, it can be a real bummer. This little girl wanted to play at the park and her dad came up with an ingenious way to keep her amused. With nothing more than some rope and a seat, he created an indoor swing. The best part? He used his own body to hold his daughter as she enjoyed an indoor park of her very own. Dads who really love their children will sacrifice a little piece of themselves to make sure their children have fun and feel loved at all times. Great job, Dad, and keep it up. A tough guy and a tea party. Whether you're a skinny little guy or a hulking bodybuilder, your little girl will still bring you to your knees with her adorable requests. This guy looks like he should be in the ring at the WWE, but he has no problem hosting a tea party with his little girl. Dads who really love their children will make time to share in their interests. This dad's photo has gone viral dozens of times and he has been featured on dozens of top viral websites. Treat your daughter with respect and she will find a man who does the same for her in the future. This dad created a hairline to fight his daughter's frizzy hair. Boyce Clark knew his 12-year-old daughter was frustrated with her hair. She was constantly fighting frizz and he wanted to do something to help. Instead of heading to the local store in search of an answer, this dad created a hair products line for his daughter. With his Ph.D. in biogeochemistry, he set out to help Alden by researching her particular hair and then creating a product that could deal with fighting extra moisture that can cause hair to become frizzy. He eventually released Lubricity Labs Penetrate/Encapsulate treatment. This dad started an organization to support his autistic son. Aaron Bly is the proud father of 5 children and there's nothing he wouldn't do for them. In fact, when it was discovered that his middle son had autism, he started an entire organization to support his kid. The Kids and Dreams Foundation was created to provide support to children and their parents who are experiencing the effects of autism and bullying. The organization helps children with autism build the self-confidence they need to get through every day. Bly splits his time between his jobs as a lawyer and web designer, his family, and the organization he spearheads. Dino Dad goes everyone dressed as a T-Rex in our opinion. Some of the best dads are the guys who are willing to act incredibly silly. Everyone needs the time to decompress after a hard day and not take life too seriously all the time. Dino Dad became an internet sensation when he started taking his daughter out while dressed as a T-Rex. His daughter thinks it's hilarious and she has a ton of friends who want to come and hang out with her and her dinosaur costume wearing dad. This dad wore the costume once for fun but started keeping it in his car and puts it on whenever his daughter requests. She introduces him to everyone she meets as my Dino Dad. This dad built a ninja course for his daughter. Lila has started her American Ninja Warrior training at a young age, all thanks to her dad, Gavin McCall. After realizing that his 5-year-old daughter was obsessed with the popular TV show, McCall set out to create a course she could call her very own. His brave little daughter climbs on top of a roof, hangs from various obstacles, and even scales the famous wall. Perhaps Lila will one day become the youngest ever winner of the popular TV show. Her dad says of his inspiration, "The day she turned the green chair around and climbed over it was the birth of the first course. A real spaceship bed." This dad wanted to create an amazing bed for his son and he went way beyond anyone's expectations. He started by picking up supplies from Jameco, McMaster Car, and Lowe's. He then molded a bed into the shape of a spaceship and added in a working control panel. Now his son is able to catch some Zeds from the comfort of his spaceship and then wake up for a Star Trek-style adventure, Star Wars if you can't stand the TV show. It took weeks to build but the final results are something almost otherworldly. This dad didn't settle for ordinary. Ian Paff is a self-proclaimed Mad Max superfan and he loves showing off how much he admires the movie. He is also the father of 2 children, Junior, 2, and Benji, 5 months. He recently upcycled 2 Fisher-Price orange and yellow cars to look like vehicles you would find in his favorite movie. His children are still a little bit small for the cars but once they grow up a bit they will have the coolest kid vehicles in the entire neighborhood. This dad is showing his kids how to use creativity to express themselves and that's pretty cool. This dad who convinced celebrities to wish his son a happy birthday, Christopher, who goes by the Twitter handle @HopeNlSmith, was worried about his son. His soon-to-be 9-year-old was being bullied by another boy at school. The bully kept telling his son that everything he owned was better than the little boy's stuff. His dad set out to ask celebrities to wish his son a happy birthday. A ton of celebrities and even the official Twitter account for the country of England, @England, took up the challenge and wished him a happy 9th birthday. Simpsons animator Eric Keyes even got in on the act and drew a picture of Bart Simpson wishing Ollie a happy birthday. Take that, bully. This dad built a replica of his family's home for his daughter. Alex Kaminsky used his amazing home building skills to create something incredibly special and unique for his 6-year-old daughter. The home was such a masterful work of art that he went viral and had a video featured on the Today Show. With her own balcony and a full-sized door, this little girl was the luckiest kid in her city. The Mini-Me house features 2 stories, a full suite of furniture and bragging rights this kid will get to hold on to until they are too big to comfortably play in the Mini-Me house her dad built for her. This dad made Macy's add changing tables for babies in the men's room. Dads who need to change their babies while visiting Macy's have an easier time now thanks to Maryland father, Anthony Dew. He was Christmas shopping with his 4-month-old son, Jeremiah, at a Macy's in Prince George's County, when he realized there was no baby changing tables in the men's room. He alerted managers at the store to the issue and was forced to leave to find a suitable place to change his son. When he got home, he wrote a letter to Terry Lundgren, Macy's chairman and CEO, on behalf of all fathers who need access to public changing tables. The company soon announced that changing tables were being added to all men's rooms at Macy's stores throughout the United States. A good dad makes the best of everything. This photo of Salem Sadudi and his daughter and niece is sure to warm your heart. Salem and his family were living in Gaza when their town was attacked. This photo is all that was left of their home amidst the devastating acts of violence. But a good dad always knows how to make their kids smile, even in the most dismal of situations. Here, Salem is playing with his daughter, Leon, and niece, Shamar, in their old bathtub, which was the only part of their home that remained intact. The human ladder. What else are dads good for except for fixing things, mowing the lawn, and annoying your mother? Being a human ladder, of course. This dad was really willing to do anything possible so that his kids could have a view of the water. Those kids should count themselves as lucky because he looks like he's the only dad willing to give so much effort to make sure that his kids are getting the best experience possible. It probably would have been easier to pick them up one at a time, but whatever floats your boat. Dad level. No shame, this little girl didn't just want to dress up as a mermaid, she wanted her dad to join in on the fun too. While most dads might pass this duty off to mom, this one took on the responsibility himself. We're not sure where he even got a mermaid costume that would fit him, but he's rocking it for all it's worth. Now, in the future, if his daughter ever complains that he doesn't do anything for her, he can just show her this picture as proof. That'll shut her up real quick. To think ahead. He's not alone, sadly. This little boy had to get surgery, leaving him with a nasty scar on his head. Being a little different as a little kid can be hard sometimes, so his dad wanted him to know that he wasn't alone. His dad then got an identical tattoo on his head on his son's scar so that the two looked the same. This is an incredibly selfless thing for this father to do, and really shows the love that he has for his own son. Not everyone could do this, but this dad felt it was necessary to do to help his son. Wedding photo shoot. 5-year-old Sophia Chapelone was born with a heart defect and wasn't expected to live past 2 years old, yet she proved everyone wrong. She had numerous surgeries, but before her 4th open heart surgery, she wanted one of her dreams to come true. She wanted to marry her best friend Hunter. So, her dad gave his blessing and the two families got together and staged a wedding photo shoot for the little lovebirds. A professional photographer happily volunteered her services and now the two have a fully professional wedding album. Coming out party. When 17-year-old Kinsey Ratzman came out to her parents, they reacted by doing something incredible. They wanted to celebrate Kinsey for who she is, so her dad helped to throw her a pride party. But it was all a surprise, and they told Kinsey that they were having an early 4th of July party. When Kinsey and her cousin left the house, the rest of the family set up the Pride-themed party. When she came home, the house was all decorated with Pride-themed plates, silverware, and even what her grandma called a vegan gay cake. Those are some very loving and accepting parents. It'll help in the long run. Although these two kids are currently being punished, this dad the right thing. He's teaching them the importance of their siblings, which is a great life lesson to have. Instead of letting them fight with each other, they're teaching them how to get along even when they don't want to. If this isn't good parenting, then we don't know what is. Although it's not any fun while it's happening, These kids will be thankful down the road that their parents cared about their relationship. Maybe they'll do the same thing to their own kids. Tallest baby in the world, this dad had to run to the bathroom but still had to keep an eye on his kid. So he did what he knew would work and threw them on his shoulders and headed in. This is something you don't see today, and not to mention clever. It's genius because it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, because everyone understands either way. We hope that someone complimented this dad for thinking on his feet in a sticky situation. We're going to keep this one in our back pocket if we're ever in this situation. Starting M. Young, nothing says father and son bonding more than putting back a couple of cold ones with your old man. Granted, the child is usually hopefully of age and not still a baby, but it's the thought that counts. Obviously, this dad is not actually letting his baby drink beer, but it's a good picture to have for when his son grows up. It's also very caring if his dad brought him with him to go out with his friends. Not all fathers are as keen to bring their babies with them when they go out with friends. Dads are just little boys too. This picture proves that dads are nothing more than big, hairy little boys. As a father, it's important to have fun with your kids and show them that it's okay to mess around sometimes. Clearly, this father and his son are having some fun in the store together. This might not be the same as working on a project or sharing a few drinks, but it's still quality father and son bonding that's crucial in a little boy's life. Now, this boy will have his dad suctioning him off the ground with a plunger. Game time. This dad really wanted to get his computer game on, but also had to look after his kid. So, he figured that he'd kill two birds with one stone. By the looks of it, his baby is loving every second of it. We're sure that's good news for the dad, because that means that he can do this more often now. Who knows, maybe by watching her dad play on the computer, the baby might end up turning into a little gamer themselves. That way they can play video games with their dad someday. Solidarity. This is yet another father that is willing to go the difference in order to make sure that their child feels comfortable. This little boy prefers to wear dresses and skirts compared to shorts. So, what does his dad do? Instead of making him wear shorts like boys are supposed to, he wears a skirt too in order to show his son that it's okay to be different. Now, nobody will give either of them problems or weird looks because it's just a father and his son wearing skirts. Nothing to see here, folks. Never too manly for a manicure. Being a dad sometimes means that you are put into positions that aren't always the most comfortable. Whether it's trying not to wake your kid that's sleeping on you, sitting at your daughter's mini table, or getting your nails done by your daughter, these are the sacrifices that you have to make. This particularly large father is showing us how it's done in this picture. He doesn't have a care in the world that his daughter's painting his toenails. She's happy and not hurting anything, so he's happy too. Plus, he can play video games. Teaching proper form. This dad is showing his little girls how it's done. Not only is he showing them the proper way to do push-ups, but he's also letting them know that they're not just for boys and that they can do them just as well. This is an important lesson to teach them so they can grow up knowing that they're equal to boys because their father told them so. The really impressive thing about this picture is how the little baby is in a push-up position. That's hard to do. We wonder how many they can do. Always time for reading. This father is doing one of the best things that you can do with your child, reading with them. There have been countless studies done that prove reading with your child is one of the most beneficial things you can do for them. This dad isn't just limiting their reading time right before bed either. He's using every opportunity available to help teach his daughter. If they keep going at this rate, she'll be reading chapter books by herself in no time. He even gave up his seat so that she can be comfortable and have the best view possible. That's dedication. Surf's Up. Not every little girl gets to say that she surfs with her dad like these two. She's all geared up for the waves with her floating and goggles. It's obvious that this dad knows what he's doing, so he thought he'd share the fun with his daughter. He looks very focused on keeping her safe while she's just having the time of her life riding that wave. If they keep doing this, he'll have to get her a board of her own, and before he knows it, they'll be fighting each other to catch waves. Sometimes it takes some imagination. Having a daughter might mean that you're going to have some imaginary tea parties every now and then, but this dad doesn't look like he minds. It probably beats doing most of the other responsibilities he has being a dad. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Actually, sitting on the floor and enjoying some imaginary tea with your daughter sounds relaxing more than anything. We're sure that he'll miss the days of imaginary tea parties someday, so he better live it up while he can. Hair on point. This dad realized that he could have the same hairstyle as his daughter if he put one of her bows in it. So why not? With the same hair, it's very clear that's the little girl's dad, and it's also obvious that he has a sense of humor. Because she's still so young, the dad has a little bit more time to prepare himself for all of the other makeovers that he's going to be getting over the next few years. He looks like he's already handling it like a champ. Good job, Dad. Teaching them to live on the edge. This dad was a little boy once, so he knows how their brains work. What kind of little boy wouldn't want to be pulled on a mattress behind a quad? Probably all of them. So, this dad decided to let his kids have some fun, and Jerry rigged up this little ride. We're sure he's being very safe, but he's also showing them that it's okay to think outside the box and be wild sometimes. It's better for them to get it out of their system sooner rather than later.